Hello Barça fans, pay attention because in today's video, I'm bringing you the latest news and updates about Barça regarding the elections. Why? Because this morning, pay attention, the electoral board has already announced the candidates for the presidency. And watch out, because there are surprises. And I'm saving a big surprise for the end of the video, so don't leave, stay, hit the like button and subscribe. Let's go with the latest Barça news. What does Barça bring you today? It's been incredible. Mr. Marc Ciria submitted 2,845 signatures. This has been a bombshell, folks, because watch out, Marc Ciria. He ran a campaign where he talked about transparency, about doing things the right way, about following the rules. Well, pay attention, because out of the 2,845 signatures that the pre-candidates submitted, only 2,200 were valid. This means that more than 500 signatures, more than 580 signatures have been invalidated. That is, they do not comply with the regulations established in the club's statutes. Therefore, more than 20%, listen, 20% of the signatures collected by Marc Ciria have not been valid at all. This has totally disappointed me. I'm a supporter of Joan Laporta. I remember I admitted publicly, but I have a friendship with Marc Ciria. He's been on our channel. I think he's a serious person, and I'm not saying he's not. An important financier who I think came to try to renew this. And it surprises me, Adri.
But what surprises me is that there aren't already more than 100 people who have left their prediction. On Big Up, remember, the Big Up website is holding a raffle for another month of $25,000 to enter the drawing. It's very easy and simple to participate. And also, I'll tell you that in the last match, we gave away the second jersey of the season for FC Barcelona. You just have to go to this website. I'll leave the link in the video description. You have to go to that link and you have to choose. Only 2 predictions. There are 6 here. You choose whichever you want. For example, I have chosen that Rafinha will have at least 2 shots on target and that there will be more than 10 corners in the match. You can pick any option, but these are my predictions. Join in, you're about to start. Look at everyone already participating. I'd love for you to join too. Just like you support us on K-Directo, this is also Barça Today, and that also helps us because Big Up is also our sponsor. So, I'll be waiting for you on that page. I want everyone to show up. And remember that before the match, we'll be live mentioning everyone who has left their prediction.
We continue. Even though he hasn't complied, at least with the regulations, someone who was advocating for that, and now he's left out. That is to say, he fell short of the cutoff by about 80 to 90 signatures. In the end, they were missing. So I think this is a total disaster for Marc Ciria, and I think this is really going to weigh on him. Because he wanted to build an image for himself, I think he ran a good campaign. But seeing how things turned out for him in the end, it leaves him in a very bad position. And they haven't been, ethically speaking, correct. And watch out, because he has taken some incredible hits. I'll tell you about them at the end of the video. Don't go anywhere, because Jota Jordi from El Chiringuito has passed judgment on Marc Ciria. Do you want to see it? Then stay tuned. I'll tell you what he achieved. Laporta and Víctor Font. We're still talking about the candidates, the official ones. Víctor Font, the main opposition to Joan Laporta. Really the only opposition left for Joan Laporta. In these elections, he managed to collect a total of, pay attention, 5,144 signatures before the electoral board. He submitted those signatures, all that batch of signatures from the club's members. But finally this morning, they were verified and only 4,440 were considered valid. That is, there were 704 invalid signatures which have no value, which could not be verified. And therefore, due to any problem, duplication, or anything that was missing, they do not comply with the regulations. Therefore, Víctor Font easily surpasses the cutoff and remains the only alternative to Joan Laporta. Víctor Font, who already spoke this morning, wanted to focus his speech not on himself. And not on Laporta, but on the Barça of the present or the Barça of the future. He believes he is the future, that everything from the past must end, that Laporta is the past, that the club needs to modernize, that favoritism must be left behind, that we must. In short, he thinks he has the key. He has the alternative to radically change this Barça. I have my opinion, which I'm going to give you, because I'm not afraid to speak up and it's my channel. And I think I'm free to say it. I think that Víctor Font is not the future, that Víctor Font is the past of Barça, and which we never want to see return to this club. Víctor Font, by the way, has disrespected Joan Laporta in his speech. Once again, he even compared him to a character from a Spanish comedy movie called Torrente. In other words, he mocked President Joan Laporta in a very vulgar way, to put it bluntly. And I think that's totally unethical and disrespectful. I don't think it's necessary to belittle anyone to win an election. You have to make serious proposals and show that you're really being honest, or at least that you have integrity. And I think Víctor Font doesn't have any, he doesn't convey that to me, but well, he's free to do whatever he wants. The members have voted for him. We have to respect the democracy of this club, which I think is a banner we should raise with great pride. And that's it. Now let the members decide. Font or Laporta, this is what Víctor Font has said. I repeat, I'm not at all convinced by the present or the future of Barça, in my opinion. Family, it all goes through this man, through the gentleman, through the president, Joan Laporta. Laporta submitted a total of 8,170 signatures, and this morning the electoral board validated a total of 7,226 valid ones, so 994 signatures were left out. For me, President Joan Laporta represents the present, he represents the future. A president, a person whose experience, which is vital in these times, was able to rescue Barça from the worst economic, social, institutional, and sporting situation we have experienced in recent years in the history of our club. Unfortunately, Laporta found an institution that was at its lowest point in sports, a team that wasn't competing, and that in the Champions League in Europe was a laughingstock with Laporta. We have started winning again in Spain, coming off a domestic treble, competing for everything. I think he has brought back excitement to Barcelona fans. He has started the Espai Barça project, a Camp Nou that is now a reality. As of today, he has reduced that wage bill, which was sky high, to less than half. Barcelona is doing its homework. We are about to finally enter the 1-1 rule so we can sign players properly in this upcoming transfer window. He has brought in Hansi Flick, our man, our favorite coach, the man who is making it possible for Barça to compete for everything. Laporta is also backing Deco. I think he has achieved very important things. He has refinanced the debt. He has made it possible for Barça to pay salaries. He arrived and not even the club's employees could get paid. Therefore, he has brought back common sense with the good and the bad. But I believe that President Laporta is the best asset for the present and future of FC Barcelona. I have no doubt about it, and he will always have my support. And now, we've reached the end of the video. I'm bringing you the bombshell that's taken Twitter by storm and has also turned Marc Ciria's headquarters upside down. Why? Because after what happened with the signatures, pay attention, he already hinted at it the night before on El Chiringuito. Jota Jordi has said the following: "It's all very intense now, everything can finally be told," says Jota Jordi. Did you beg Víctor Font the night before to create a joint candidacy so you wouldn't have to submit the allegedly false signatures, report members of other candidacies to coerce them, forge signatures, take malicious photos with minors, use signatures from another electoral process, deceive members, or submit signatures without the ID? And watch how he closes. Mr. Marc Ciria, not only will he not be able to win these elections, he should never be allowed to run again. And the club's disciplinary committee should seriously consider expulsion of this gentleman as a member of our club, a liar, a swindler, and a cheater. We want him far from our club. We'll see. Prosecutor's office. How do you proceed after what this man has done in the last month? Visca el Barça. That said, on his Twitter account, Mr. Jota Jordi, well, a tremendous takedown of Marc Ciria. Hit the like button, subscribe, and tell me what you think about this whole video in the comments. Barça yesterday, Barça today, always.